All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Summertime Rendering, episode 18.
All right, we got ourselves to the temple.
We did.
We're here to talk to the priest at the Hiriko Shrine.
Let's get some answers. And maybe some just general backstory that could maybe tie into a bunch of different things, because we have a lot of things in the past that are affecting us in the present.
Yeah, and need some context. Or
Indeed.
At least some perspective.
Yes, maybe a bird's eye perspective.
Yeah, I would like that. So, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. Oh, here we go.
Okay.
人ヶ島にも餓死者が続出した。島の存亡の危機に瀕したある日、表浜に巨大なクジラが流れ着いた。
Oh.
島民はこのクジラは神の恵みだと喜び、食べようと集まった。
Oh shit.
Probably feed the whole island.
近づいたその時、クジラの体がまばゆく光り、その娘そっくりの姿になった。そしてそれは娘を食らった。
Whoa.
たたりを恐れた島民はその娘を荒人神ヒルコさん。
Gotcha.
これが人ヶ島に伝わるヒルコ伝承だ。
Well, shit.
All right. Well, that actually like paints a pretty strong picture of what actually is happening here.
That was the girl was Heine.
Yep.
And that was whatever.
And the whale was
a
representation of Hiriko.
Right. Well, or just was the form that Hiriko was in at that time.
True. Yeah.
But then that's kind of crazy because
So Hiriko does need to be healed, essentially. Then.
Yeah, but that's such an ordinary, like, just there was a shadow that was somewhere else first, and then it came here, right?
Right.
Like that's not like it was actually a god, and so, like, who knows where the god came from, right? Like, it's just, it came from somewhere on this planet that was just not here.
Well, also, I love the idea of a whale because it's the whole thing where the ocean is filled with, mysteries and stuff.
It's just one single tendril of Cthulhu that's like...
Perfect, okay. Yep. She already confirmed that at the funeral, yep. But yeah, because we had gone further, he could have become a shadow more recently, so it's good that he's not now still.
Alright, the pleasantries are great, but we're gonna need Ushio to...
Based. Boo! How far you have fallen.
FF7 リメイクやりたかったな。FF7 って面白いんですか？よく聞きますけど。まさか新平君7やったことない？キルコ伝承についても調べましたよ。はじめはカリキリさんに聞こうとしたんですが、ヒズルさんが詳しく教えてくれました。おそらくそれは隕石の形で地球にやってきた。落ちたのは海でしょう。
Yeah, I think he's presuming, basically.
Sure.
Because he's not going to go into gods exist,
Yeah.
This is all Hizuru's theory. Okay. That makes sense.
この後が文献に出てくるヒルコ伝承につながるんです。確かにヒルコ伝承はその通りやけど、まさかその話が実話やと?
Yeah, I think he's just worried that he could be working with the shadows,
Oh, sure.
Okay, now we're being more direct here.
いや失礼。新平君、さすがに本の読みすぎや。もう全部わかってるんですよ。
Yeah.
カリキリさん、あなたはこれが実話だと知ってる。なぜならあなたはこの一部始終を見ていたはずだからだ。
Wait, what?
No way.
What?
70年も昔の写真になぜあなたが写ってるんですか？カリキリ正人さん。いや。
Oh. Holy shit.
Okay.
Fuck. Okay.
動くな。動くと殺す。もう一枚の写真を見てみろ。時代は下った。 40年前、それは菱形先生のお父さんが取ったもんや。お前は影じゃない。でも、ただの人間でもない。
Oh my god. Yeah, they're all here. Yeah. I like that we didn't hear anything about this plan. We're just in the dark as the priest is, so it's
Okay.
This is our offensive.
4本腕の正体はカリキリ正人かもな。
Wow.
君たちもそう考えているのでは？
ええ。
Oh, and she did kind of interact with him in a particular way at the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
4本腕はなぜ顔を隠す？奴が影のに変身すればいいということなのに。実は奴は人間でコピー能力がないとしたらどうだ？
あいつがスキャンするところを見たことないけど。でもプリントをしてました。
Yeah, printed another person essentially.
奴がただの人なら殺すのは造作もない。気づかぬふりで神社へ行き、世間話でもしている間に。
Alright.
いや、それ殺人ですよ。もっと決定的な確証がないと。
Yeah, we don't really have evidence. Yeah, yeah. Oh, then we get fucking photographs.
Although, because he's human, you can't hack him.
Oh, nice. And then this is the...
ハイネの守護者であり、彼女が最初に産んだ子供。オリジナルの名は菱形秀彦。菱形委員の創始者、初代院長だ。
待ってくれ。菱形ってカリキリやろ。
Wow.
菱形とカリキリはもともとは同じ家なんだ。カリキリは菱形から分かれて。
I knew.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
やがて秀彦は神と交わり、子を成した。
Oh.
スキャンされ影として平面から分娩されたんじゃない。立体のハイネの肉体を妊娠させ出産させたのだ。
Fucking what?
ハイネの名字カリキリを名乗り始める。ハイネの出産を菱形家は分家した。以後はカリキリ家が神を祀り。
Oh my god.
What the
This
fuck?
is the deep fucked up lore here.
Yeah.
血のつながった遠い親戚。
その生まれた子供は。
その赤子は成長するにつれ秀彦に瓜二つとなっていったらしい。これが影の性質なんだろう。ここからだ。それは秀彦の欲望を目覚めさせた。奴はハイネに自分の人格と記憶をコピーさせ、クローンに移植させたんだ。そうすることで若返りをしたんだよ。
Gotcha. And that's how they didn't catch on with like he did actually grow up and things like that.
父が取った。今の奴の肉体が生まれた時のものだよ。死ではこの秘術を繰り返し、自分を生んだハイネに自分を生ませ続けて、
Holy
300年
fuck.
前から現在まで生き続けているのさ。
Yeah, that's why Heine always felt like she was being babysat by Shide.
Oh,
there was this
fuck.
feeling of ownership and
Yeah,
protecting.
yeah.
ハイブリッド。
やれやれ、ずるいな、新平君。
You loop.
帰省して一日でここまで来ますか。
He always did have kind of a villain's design, you know?
Yeah.
The glasses, the slicked back blonde hair.
The smile.
Uh-huh,
You know?
yeah.
世にいう強砲の大飢饉が起きた年です。
Fucking Urahara Kisuke meets Aizen, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
そして彼女は人を食う代わりに豊漁をもたらした。
その伝承。
Oh, okay. So what actually happened?
島民を何百人か影に変えただけですよ。
And then they didn't need to eat.
漁してなくとも魚
Oh,
を
gotcha.
Sure.
飢えた人を救うことができる。
なんでジンペイの両親を殺した？
そりゃ牛尾ちゃんと同じく邪魔やったからでしょうが。昼子堂を発見して公表し
Yeah. Why would you rob our little paradise we built here?
Yeah.
美味しくいただきました。ああ、もしかして陰にしといた方が嬉しかったかな。
Oh, good.
That's a persona face right there.
Yeah.
What? But because he's a human, you're not going to shoot him?
俺はお前とは違う。
No, that's fine. Absolutely kill him.
殺すなんかしたくない。お前かて死にたないやろ。なんでそこまでハイネを守る。お前は人や。ハイネが帰る故郷にお前は一緒に行けやんはずや。
Yeah, you'll
Oh,
eventually.
sure.
それで終わりにできやんか。
それは私のエンディングではない。母の願いを叶えることが私の使命。わかりますよ。君は今こう考えてる。なんでこいつは左手にやけどしてへん。
Oh, no.
でね、もう私動いてもええんですか？
Oh, this is a shadow.
もう我慢できやん。
No, because she can't sense a shadow.
Well, that's creepy.
No, he's fucking dead. Of course he.
これで終わり？
俺がやるって言うたやろ。
You weren't doing
お
it.
前にこんなことさせるつもりじゃ。
Well, you did.
新平は優しいからきっと後悔したよ。
Fuck.
人として見てるやろ。私の。
And my existence is temporal. Yeah.
汚れ役は
Yeah.
全部私に任しとき。
She says
Yeah.
with the hair flip.
Yeah, I know. That was badass, though. I'm so glad we didn't have any nonsense of like, oh, he's gonna get away because they're not willing to do it.
みんな聞いた？
Oh, fuck.
シデを殺した。
Shit. Yeah.
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 Who says there's just one clone?
Yeah. There he is.
Fuck. All right. All right,
we go.
we're in the bad timeline.
Yep. Yep.
Pineapple, pineapple.
ごめん、新平。
Fuck. Yeah.
Okay, that's. We're gonna have to loop back.
Oh, but she's dead, so she won't be there. She's actually just.
No, because she still was alive before this.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
ほんのちょっぴり負荷が足らんかったとちゃうんすか。
なんで俺の両親を殺したんか。あいつの口から理由を聞きたい。
Hey, you got everything you wanted out of this loop then.
一回死ぬくらい。
Hey, you're not dead yet, though. I love that he's still alive, technically.
Uh-huh,
here. He's
yeah.
just-
Life flashing before his eyes kind of deal. And because it's just a bunch of clones, like, they can't sense him.
Yep.
2発。まず奴の影に打ち込みます。本当に人かどうかの確認のために。もし3発目が聞こえたら踏み込んでください。
Yeah.
Holy shit. Holy shit.
All this happening within 6 seconds.
Yeah.
前のセーブデータが消えた小学生の気分かな。牛尾は死んだ。
Yeah, he is a persona boss.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
is.
ガキどもがこの私のエンディングを変えられるので
Oh my god.
君とループするんは絶望と後悔だけや。いってらっしゃい。
Yeah. And dead.
That was so cool.
新平ってシリ。
Oh, okay. Here we are. This is our dump back spot. He looks.
あれ？牛尾は？
No, she isn't here.
あったのに。
But
No. Oh shit.
wait. So
Well, here's the weird thing, though. There's elements of the eye that were consistent because of a loop already, right?
right.
So Ushio has a very high likelihood of being a part of that. But yeah, we'll have to see how this goes. Yeah.
Because they did mention in the gym, they were like, well, hey, we just need to kill Ushio because there was an idea of that would have permanence. But now I'm like, every time I think about it, my mind ends up being like, well, no. Oh, yeah, he wouldn't be able to take her back with him. But then it's oh, no, but then it would just be that the Ushio from earlier in the timeline just wouldn't have, like, the memories or whatever.
Yeah.
You know? So.
Yeah.
But
we'll
no,
have
we're
to, we'll have to see, yeah.
We're not quite in a who's rem situation, but we're pretty fucking close.
Yeah.
So
Alright.
that's why they didn't go earlier. I see. It's not the we forgot or we have more pressing things. It's the we have reason to suspect that might be the final boss area, and so we're gonna do everything else first and try and get confirmation.
Right. They didn't know that for that long. It's more that they've been acquiring evidence Hizuru has been suspicious for a while.
Right.
And then it's the, okay, Shinpei's the leader. We're going down these specific angles here. We're taking in and absorbing the little bits of info that we can about him. And then Hishigata comes along and is like, bam, evidence. We know.
100% him.
Yeah, and it's also the thing where, what was he ever going to do about that?
Yeah.
It's bad. It's bad.
And the fact that the fact that they were able to have this plan, Shide was able to have this plan in place also is probably in no small part due to the fact that they specifically hit the hospital, right? Like, so it's we knew that the doctor would have been able to piece things together, right? Because he has all the evidence and he's not an idiot and all that stuff.
Yep.
So,
So we're eventually going to betray him. It doesn't matter what he'll do.
Yeah,
he
exactly.
can't stop the festival.
Right.
But, Shinpei, with a bit of looping...
He could do some stuff.
He could do this, so we need to be ready just in case.
Yeah, and the idea that because it's just clones. You've got shadow consciousness type stuff, but you've got actual bodies.
Heine's children born of their that's all kinds of fucked up.
All kinds of fucked.
Just the idea that, for one, we always kind of had this suspicion that there was a power dynamic where Shide kind of was like when you see the parent kind of like putting their hands on like the child's shoulder and having the like, I'm your guardian, but it's also a little bit squeezing too tightly. You know, it's like that. Okay, there's something off here.
Like if the theoretical, maternal paternal umbilical cord hasn't entirely been cut, and then even after the kid's like grown up a fair bit, there's that bit of like
teenager and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. There's the parent still trying to be the parent rather than being a peer, and it's like, But yeah, so the idea that all of this shit happened, like, do we want to actually count all the ways in which this is fucked? Like,
I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
I think the main thing is that the motivation that he had was that originally, when this came about, we have a being that shatters his worldview.
Yes.
Comes in and basically takes someone that was just an average person in their village, in the island, butchers them after copying them. They're completely robbed of this whole thing here.
Oh, yeah.
There's all the complications of then what Heine's experienced since that point. But it's Heine is still there, the kid themselves. They're still there. But then it's we had extenuating circumstances come about where everybody's about to die.
Right, so we killed a few hundred people and made them shadows, and then had them
feed the other 1,000, basically.
Yeah, and that's
a few hundred.
That's probably crazy for a whole set of circumstances. There's the idea that like you actually had shadows en masse helping people survive.
Probably because Heine can just give commands, and the shadows, by being her children, can then have to do that kind of stuff.
That superseded even Heine's own like instinct to feed. Right.
But what I think is kind of fucked about this in an extra level, like that might not be extremely obvious, is that those shadows aren't around anymore. Those shadows all got absorbed clearly into Shide. They had to go somewhere. Shadows are not
they only
going to
last
die
for a week. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. But they're not going to die by
like people back then.
Conventional means and stuff like that. Yeah. So there is a very real possibility that given that he was around at that time, that he's been slowly but surely kind of picking up the remnants of shadows either before they die or something like that. So he saw the capacity of shadows, got greedy, and that's basically his motivation. Because him living forever here, maybe he tapped into something of understanding Hiriko, and he sees himself as being the son of Hiriko, not really caring about Heine as a person.
Right, and yet because Heine was copied and then devoured, Heine essentially is Hiruko kind of at this point.
Right, but because of what a shadow is, we know that they're also very much Heine as well.
No, right, but
the personality, the memories, all that stuff. Yeah,
but that means we still have the question of what exactly is the big amalgamation of shadow down in the cave, in the grotto, right? Because we had Heine, and then
it's Hiruko. It's very straightforward. So Hiruko is a being that they basically said, hey, we're not going to explain that.
Right, we don't know.
There's a great theory that Hizuru came up, which I think is a great
placeholder. We don't need to actually know.
There's no way we'll end up knowing unless we actually speak to Hiruko and tells us. But, or they, But that entity was either dying or hurting or something. And there could be some cool message as to the whole aspect of a whale washing up on the shore and stuff like that.
Sure.
It could be its own little story there.
Or just it wanted I don't know.
A new life, maybe.
A new life, a richer experience. And
a higher life form,
Yeah, let's get a higher life form and then use that for food.
Right. Either way.
It becomes Heine. It does the regular ass shadow thing.
Yes, exactly.
Right, where it just copies, kills. There you go. And now it's the real thing,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think what probably happened, and we kind of glanced over this a little bit, is when that incident happened, people saw that. Now, they obviously would then treat Heine as a god, essentially.
Oh, yeah.
And because they're a being that they don't understand. And for some period of time, Shide, or this Hishigata, fucking asshole here.
Yeah.
Was basically like, oh, well, shit, we have to do something with this new god, and probably because he's the priest, he's the one that was like, well, everyone, we have to serve this thing. Right. He's now realizing, oh shit, we're coming back maybe again full circle, where it's instead of mother being hungry and needing us to feed her, now we're hungry, mother, please feed us. And Heine saved them probably because of him entreating to please save the island and stuff. And over the course of time, he ends up becoming a bit obsessed and or greedy for the power that he can gain by being connected to this god, by being the special son, And there's a lot about his personality that seems to be enjoying what he's doing here. So this is very much the madness of someone that's lived too long, combined with the probable depraved
just whatever it would take for someone
mental being of someone who's done all this stuff. So
So okay, cool. We have a
proper human antagonist.
Yes. Right.
Which is really cool because we can just kind of hate him.
It's a lot. There's aspects of Heine that I could tell that the show, it's like, okay, I thought originally it was going to be we're going to make you sympathetic to Heine, and they kind of did, but it's no, Heine's just a problem, right? But Heine didn't quite have that main antagonist kind of feel to her, because she was so even though she's been around for a very long time, she very much behaves in a fashion similar to her form of a little kid.
Yeah.
So okay, now we've got a person who's a face to the name, basically. All right, we got to deal with them. I love the mechanical complications of the fact that because he's not a traditional shadow, he can't be sensed, but also there's multiple of him. So yeah, there you go. And oh hey, he just had one hiding, in this area. And we know that this is the one that we've been dealing with. But who's to say that's the only one, right?
The one thing I would say that realistically is the case is that you would have a father and son all the time. You wouldn't have more than two.
Okay.
Because of the idea of it being a clone of a son, and then he keeps having the babies.
Because there is the and given that the people of this island don't have some awareness of supernatural elements that are going on, if they see a son that ends up growing up to look exactly like the dad, they might not look too closely at it, but
they'll just be like, oh, this is a whole thing that's just weird about their family specifically.
Yeah, they just the genes just are real strong, and they take after their dad real well. But I think there is a definite potential reason for there to only be two, because they're still humans, so you would still have to feed them actual food, and there's a lot of like potential problems that could come about from that. And there's only one suit of Shide armor. Right. So that's something that we can deal with, and that's probably what the situation is it's just I'm the son that's the current like next incarnation. And then we've got dad in the in the back wing,
right,
ready to just spear Shinpei, and that whole scene was
fucking amazing,
fucking incredible.
It gave such good D&D vibes to just break down a little bit the idea that like we already planned beforehand for pacing purposes.
We're not going to show that before we are actually in the scene.
Yeah, this is something they do a lot in like Attack on Titan, where they show the planning afterwards to be like, hey, you can infer between the blanks to show in your mind like that's how they came to those kind of specific things there to really snap through it.
And just as long as you can roll with the bits of like, wait a minute, why is Shinpei seemingly like hostile? Like what's going on here? It's the priming us for everything's not quite what it seems. There's going to be some additional context that we're going to give you that will make this make sense.
But I loved the idea that we have the weird instance with Hizuru and Ryunosuke. And because of what Ryunosuke is, because of the idea of getting that kind of offshoot shadow-esque thing that's connected to Heine, thus there's that little bit of future sight ability. The idea that whenever she was around him, she's not sensing literal shadow stuff or what have you, but it's the idea that she could make any choice of what to say to him, probably. And there's that potential that he could respond with the emotion or the
2 seconds of just like something not quite feeling right. But in all of the things I love that as a mechanical reason for why it would be, because at first when
why would she sense something weird?
It very much like the dynamic that they seem to have from the beginning of the show was very much like one-sided crush.
We're old childhood friends that kind of just couldn't ever get along, or
right, exactly.
Or we had a crush and we're exes, and it's just
awkward, and so like the idea of it's like, I always got a weird vibe from him. I'm like, wait, is this just playing to like the tropey they don't get along stuff? No. It's the even if it was never in any of the canonical stuff that she actually did, if you're dealing with 2 seconds looking into the future, that could butterfly effect. You could get some sort of subconscious, thing of...
Or just parallel ways of doing it, where it's just in 2% of them, there's always some way in which he responds really weird. Yeah. And she just intuitively goes...
Yeah.
I'm probably extrapolating way too much out of this, but it's a way that I can kind of hand wave that aspect pretty easily.
I think you're right, because as far as why we didn't get that like specifically stated, it totally makes sense within the context of this episode, because with the things that are happening, they don't have the time for that. That would ruin the pacing. But Hizuru would absolutely have that kind of stuff just in general for her day-to-day conversations.
Right.
And so...
she would like some people more than others based on the
exactly,
way that they would generally tend to respond. And if she can constantly see all that.
Yeah, that would just be something that she would adjust to. But if you had one person where, not in a way that she would consciously think about, but just the,
you don't fit in with other people.
Yeah, it's just that uncanny valley kind of a thing.
Yeah, exactly. Uncanny valley is a great way to describe it.
That would 100% give her the sus vibes.
Yeah.
And here you go.
And I think it's also just... we saw him do the, face.
Oh, yeah.
He has lost his humanity over the course of living this long. I don't think we need a lot of explanations as to why he's so fucked up, other than these are the things that he was doing.
Yep.
Just in general.
Oh, yeah.
So he's a murderer. He's, did all this stuff to Heine. He's did all this stuff here. But then just he's 300 years old. People aren't supposed to live that long.
Yeah, and if it's a fucked up person that lived for 300 years, that'd be a certain special kind of rotten fermentation of the soul, basically.
Yeah. And then there's the other thing that I think is really potentially really crazy here. He's obsessed with Hiroko, which is its own little thing there. But then he's also probably isolated himself. He doesn't really have any real relationships potentially either. So he's also... Yeah, in a lot of ways, the way that Shinpei did the "you're not me" made me go, I don't generally like that. But thinking about it of the, oh, wait, Shinpei, if you looped forever, essentially you would become a form of him, although not as extreme, because you're not isolated, because you have all these other things going for you. It could go that route.
Well, and the bird's eye view thing, if you think about it, that is, if you were to take it in its worst possible perspective, that's just a psychopath. Right? Where it's you can be completely cut off and removed from the situation, right? And strictly think about it logically.
Yeah, there's no human connection. There's nothing there. You're not invested.
Now, that would make it so that you can come to better conclusions, maybe, and all that stuff. But that's, it's humanity's very flaws that are what, and are struggling with things, and our inability to do things in that perfect way that is, what makes us people, right? So if you were able to actually truly remove that, in a lot of ways, at best, you'd be a machine. You know?
Yeah, I would say that's probably the better way to look at it, rather than from a mental dysfunction kind of thing, is that you would essentially become one of just pure raw data, which, what do you know? That's kind of what the shadows are, is an amalgamation of the data, which I loved the video game conversation in the beginning of, I'm excited for the Final Fantasy VII Remake. And I love that now that conversation is even funnier, given that Shinpei is pretty certain of, you're definitely human, and you're definitely the priest, but,
that's a great cover from this guy's angle of no, I was someone, and he did literally, get born and then grow up in this generation, right? Even though he got implanted with all the memories of stuff that came before.
Yes.
So Final Fantasy VII, it's a really great game, and yes, absolutely.
Did you get the puns of a whole lot of the things in there, though? It's a shadow.
Which
it's
one?
A copy of an original.
Yes. But the idea that it's also on this small island and everything, the RPGs where you don't need a great internet connection, and all that stuff. It's those would definitely be popular, right?
Or also just the idea of I don't know the full story of Final Fantasy VII, but I know it deals with the idea of the end of the world and some dystopic
and
kind of stuff in that regard.
And this guy is absolutely, now granted, maybe he doesn't have an edgy teenage phase because he has the memories of all those other times.
Sure.
Even though he would have had a teenage body at some point, so that's totally on the table. He absolutely would have had a Sephiroth profile picture for a good portion of his existence.
Shide-Roth,
Yeah, exactly.
I do love, though, the mocking aspects of his character, because one of the things that's really fun about having a human antagonist is they get some kind of enjoyment out of whatever they're doing. Because not only do they believe that they're in the right for doing what they're doing, but they also have something about it that they're passionate about. And for him, his obsession being something that we can tie to human things, in addition to the esoteric worship of some kind of god being or what have you.
That is also your mother, that you're also...
Right. Yes. Yeah. All that. There's a whole way in which you can kind of bridge people along to connect the thing which they could never relate to and go, oh, shit, yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, damn it. All right, yeah, he is human. Fuck.
Right.
And so his way of precisely going for no, I'm going to make you loop, Shinpei. It's going to be after she's clearly dead by stabbing you in a very specific spot, and then very clearly making sure you die, after that. We now have the mystery of, given the mechanics that we have introduced to us in the show, is there any way in which they win here because Ushio is now dead, because Ushio was only traveling through the pathways that Shinpei would bring up through this loop by
that's
being
where
a form of Heine. But that's where it comes into, again, the reveal that we had recently of...
Well, sure. I was going to say the question that I brought up in that one episode of like, well, if it's, is it Ushio's truly being dragged back, or is it like a data
Her data
update
is going through.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's the
one.
Okay, cool. Now she's got all the stuff, but there isn't like you're not making a second Ushio because you're whatever taking back pure data or something like that.
I think she should potentially still be able to come back.
Right,
but it's what has been fucked with by the nature of that, or do we have to go back to the original point where she was left?
Yeah,
and grab her from there.
Right. It's tough because the show.
I don't think they're planning on having that be the thing here.
I don't think so either. But the show is definitely setting up that with this Ushio is gone.
Right.
Like it would be weird if they said no, the characters actually had an incorrect understanding and there is a very simple explanation of why she's not actually gone. Mm-hmm. She's just she's back on the beach and doesn't remember anything or something like that. But given that,
what we still have though is an Ushio, probably Shadow Ushio, that set up Shinpei in the very beginning, and we're still waiting on that.
But do you know who really just got the short end of the stick here? Mio.
Oh,
because so. Yeah, I'll tell you later today. So make sure that you're fine and come back in one piece and everything. One. Loop. So, that gets pushed back even more, even though it is still after that conversation when he got reset to. But also, Ushio's dead again, so you have to grieve for your sister again, but also the person that your crush probably likes might truly be gone. And so it's they have to grieve for that, but then also, is this something where your odds just potentially went up a distant ways in the future because now there's no competition, but also if there ends up being something later where because of bird's eye view, she comes back, then like...
Yeah, Mio definitely got the rough end of this here.
Yeah, like there are some things that just don't change, right? In Attack on Titan, it's that Reiner has suffering, and in this show, it's that Mio has suffering. Well, yeah, that too. Yeah, and in this, it's Mio, I'm sorry.
Yeah, the eye of Heine's that he's got bleeding is his own thing there. But I will say, it's one of the things that's rather interesting about this eye. Is that it is made of shadows and it is in a loop. Remember from episode 12 or something?
Uh-huh.
So we need to see the potential mechanics of that loop.
Right. It's like overheating or something,
Possibly, but it could also be that it's actually taken some damage here. We'll have to see, because he did say earlier that his eye was hurting and the headaches are still there.
Right.
So
yeah, so that could be something that's been accruing this whole time. It could be something where because Shadow Ushio was destroyed and Shadow Ushio had the eye for a while, that the eye itself took some of the damage of Ushio being obliterated or whatever.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
Yeah.
Yeah. But okay, this Urahara Kisuke persona Aizen fucker.
The face contortion reveal, that's just a classic.
Yeah, it's a classic, yeah.
And it didn't disappoint, right? He did it to full effect here.
Yeah, I did like going through these individual loops here
with all the different points in time being shown and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. I also did like the fun little thing of Ushio being like, if Hiriko is the mother of shadows, why having a shrine to worship her?
That's sus.
That's kind of sus. And it's
right.
That's some great general just general.
You ever think about that?
You ever think about that?
Yeah,
it's well, yes, they did think about that a couple of times.
We need to defeat Hiriko, and the way we're going to do that is by going to the shrine to Hiriko. Wait a minute.
Right.
Hang on. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm actually kind of curious because he did say yesterday you told me that you went to a gaming convention in Tokyo. I don't remember that conversation.
Well, I think by yesterday he's meaning when they were at the funeral at the very beginning.
Right, but I don't think that was yesterday.
Well, because
There's so many loops.
There's so many loops because I think canonically the show has only gone over 2 days so far.
Right, or like 2.5 days. But like,
something like that.
I think it's 2.5 days. But yeah, if it was in the morning when he went and interviewed a whole bunch of people, asked them a whole bunch of stuff about the shadow sickness and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah, he said that, but that clearly was just a lie. Right?
Yeah, maybe.
So is he kind of calling him out on
given
the lie
that you
there?
he could be calling him out on the lie. It could be checking to see if like the memories are up to date. You know? Like because they don't know what kind of fuckery's happening here. And well, granted, he would probably just have all the memories and stuff. Like that could because Shinpei here is trying to get as much information as possible because he knows that there was the possibility that he could get killed in loop. Right. And he said he was okay with, because they'd gotten the extra buffer, he's okay with looping if it means getting as much info as possible out of him, which makes sense.
Yeah.
But
I also just loved the joke of you talk about his little double puns and things and stuff like that. He used to be an RPGs guy, you know, just generally progressing his story, gaining XP. With his fucking nasty ass reincarnated plan here. But then it's recently I've been into guns and shooting, so I'm doing a bunch more FPSs and stuff. I'm like, this fucker, these are so funny.
Yep.
These are so funny. And I think actually I'm really curious if he said FF7 remake as like a how do you do fellow kids? And it's like I hear a lot about it. Oh, you never played it before? Yeah.
The FPS thing really is apropos given that like Shide's constant thing has been he makes guns and then uses them on people, and it's like, fuck you, that's, you know.
Right, but also the idea that if he's like, oh, the original came out before I was born. How old are you again? Like, how would he have all these great memories of playing the original?
Oh, no, I think with the age that he is, he 100% was like, he was probably like a fairly young kid. Like
no, but if they're saying that this is in the current time where it's 2021 or 2020 or whatever.
And I want to say it was like late 90s when FF7 came
out. No, he literally just said like it was around the so late 90s. So But just the idea of like that was 20 years ago for you to have played it. You're telling me you played it at what, like 9 years old, 7 years old or something?
I'd buy that.
You'd buy that?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I mean, maybe. I guess maybe there's also just like different people play different games.
Here's the way you check.
I probably was not smart enough to play RPGs at 7 years old.
He's like, let me tell you. Okay, you haven't played the game, so you wouldn't know this, but that game, that traumatized me. All of a sudden, it's just, you know, there's this really cool character, and then just fucking dead, man. And I was like, man, I wish I could have been Sephiroth killing that person.
Spoilers. But this reveal was handled in a really fun way. It was very, very tense. But also just combining that with the actual like memories of the original thing. He was there, so he's able to kind of confirm a lot of things about the legend and bring it up.
Which is also a great way for us, the audience, to be able to get that info, because if we're not doing the redemption thing for Heine, how do we get to see exactly what happened back there? Well, we talk to someone who was there, and if that's not going to be Heine for obvious reasons, then how does that work? Right,
but now we have even more build-up towards the Heine gets saved kind of thing, because it's literally underneath the thumb of Shide.
But at the same time, this Heine kind of is Hiruko.
No, but that's the thing. Right? She's not. But that's the point. Is that the shadow is obviously like a creation of Hiruko's, but this whole thing, this whole ritual, is to bring back Hiruko to her like her full strength.
Right, but that's like by feeding Heine, right? Because like with the way that it was told, and I don't think you know our villain boy here is lying, right?
No.
The whale was there. The whale copied Heine.
Yep.
And then the whale disappeared, became Heine, ate Heine.
Yep.
And the whale was, as far as we could tell, Hiruko. That was Hiruko coming to the island. So Hiruko became Heine and ate Heine. So Hiroko would be Heine, right?
But no, because not exactly, because Hiroko shadow copied Heine.
No, right, but because the way the shadow thing works, right, is they copy the data and then they can turn themselves into that because they have the data.
Right.
And then once the shadow kills the original, then they are the true full thing. They're
Heine then.
No, right, but that would still be that Hiroko is Heine, even if it's a thing of like I still feel like this didn't clear up for me what the big amassing of shadow is in there.
That's the point, though. That's the point, is that there's a distinction being made of having the ancient eldritch being, from outer space or whatever, it's irrelevant, being encased inside the tiny waifu, girl and stuff, is that there is a distinction of we are seeing the abomination, which is the child that needs to be saved because there's a dark shadow monster that's inside her. It is not her. It is very much puppeting and inside and there. But we could theoretically excise or.
But wouldn't it? I don't know. Maybe we'll just have to see what they do with it going forward. Because I would think that would still. I don't know. We will see. A lot of crazy stuff happened in this episode, and this is definitely like the status quo has been shattered. So now we'll have to see what the show does for whatever new status quo we have. The next, 6 episodes or whatever we have left in the show. I forget how long exactly it is before we get to finale and all that stuff.
But yeah. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You get an early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access. So you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out my Baldur's Gate 3 Let's Play on Twitch. And if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.